Cardano, otherwise known as ADA, it's a dinosaur coin. And that's really not a nice thing to say because it makes you think that it's old or outdated, but it's not. It's just that it's been around for a while. It's in the top 10 by total market cap. Last bull run, 10,000% gain. And we're going to see the founder and creator here on video in a moment saying, what about 100x or 1000x? Disclaimer, big dumb animal here. Don't copy me. Entertainment only, not financial advice. Always do your own research. Love how I break things down? Then hop into my crypto school. You'll get step-by-step courses on everything. Buying, selling, staking for yield, borrowing, lending, even going fully debanked. Plus, join lively crypto chats and catch my daily market updates. And lastly, if you just want to help support the channel, there's a join button just below this video. So the real question is, can Cardano compete with Ethereum? We'll get into that in a minute. We'll look at how it started. We'll compare the two, and then we'll look at pricing, and I'll try to do it quick. Here we are at the Cardano website. And I always talk about some of these websites because sometimes you'll look at them and you'll say there's not a lot there, not a lot of information. This one, of course, they've been around for a while, is excellent. You've got this learn here, and it goes through everything step by step. Just follow these pages, you'll learn everything you want to know. We're going to skip to what I believe are two main points. Evidence-based development. This is sort of what a lot of people will point at as to how they have differentiated themselves from all these other layer one blockchains. Remember, there's many layer one blockchains, and some we look at them and we say they're sort of generic, meaning they're applicable for many different solutions, whereas some of them have decided to try to stand out of the crowd, so to speak, by focusing in a particular area. So you might think, well, Ethereum's great for certain things, but it's very generic. It can be used for almost anything. Cardano, Hedera, maybe even ICP. And then there are others that have said, you know, we're going to try to focus, let's say, near in the AI space. So they're all layer ones. But with respect to Cardano, their claim to fame is the fact that they were developed using evidence-based methods. Protocol implementations and platform integrations are first researched, challenged, and mathematically modeled and tested before they are specified. Sort of that whole college peer review process, which makes a lot of sense. One of the byproducts of that process is unparalleled security. They talk about how secure it is, also scalable and sustainable. Those are sort of the key linchpins, if you will, about how they differentiate themselves. If we look at it, here it is. It's actually sitting at number 10 at the moment. This is July of 2025. 27 billion market cap. 35 billion fully diluted, because not all of the tokens are out, but substantially almost all of them are out at the moment. In terms of social discussions, here's a bubble map, and you'll see that ADA's over here. A moment ago, it was right over here. So in terms of the top 10 easily, in terms of what's getting the most mentions out there, ADA's in that group. As well they should be. They're in the top 10 cryptos. The founder, Charles Hoskinson, you can see his X here. He's got over 1 million followers, but this is what's interesting. He's a co-founder of the blockchain engineering company IOHK, which is referenced in his X profile, and the Cardano blockchain platform, of course. He was a co-founder of the Ethereum blockchain platform. I find this interesting because, as we've talked about before, the original CTO for Ripple and XRP left and created XLM. This individual was a co-founder of Ethereum, left, and created ADA. Here's a video of what he happened to say recently regarding ADA.
Oh, why don't you just convert all your ADA to Bitcoin? It's like, okay, so we can make less money as an ecosystem.
You think ADA will still outperform BTC in the future?
Of course, because how much farther can Bitcoin go? Maybe to 1 million. Okay, it's a 10x. ADA can go 100x, 1000x. Over this. It's like, guys, we're not a second-class citizen.
Now take a look at this comparison chart. Put this together, go through it fairly quick. Transaction speed. We've got Cardano column, Ethereum column, 250 transactions per second, 20 to 30, so it's significantly faster. Gas fees, what you're paying per transaction, 6 to 10 cents. I did this through AI. It said 50 cents to $5. I think Ethereum's much cheaper than that now because of some recent upgrades. Ecosystem size, these last two rows are what we really want to look at. Cardano has approximately 1,000 projects within its ecosystem. Ethereum, as we know, 3,000 to 4,500 projects. That's significantly more development on their platform. Adoption and market share. Cardano 0.5 to 0.8, let's just call it 1%. Ethereum 7 to 10%. It's almost a 10x in terms of the amount of market share that they have. Ethereum is the Goliath, and ADA is trying to compete with the Goliath. Now, there may be reasons that people choose ADA over Ethereum because of its research-based approach, and if they do believe, well, hey, it's faster and it's just as secure, so therefore it's a cheaper version of something, might as well just get that. That could make sense. You know, you go out and you buy a Lexus ES350 or you go buy a Toyota Camry. They're the same car, essentially, but one's much cheaper. Now let's look at Cardano from a decentralized finance perspective. On DeFi Llama, it shows you the total value locked. 353 million. They do have a lending and a decentralized exchange, just like all the other cryptos we talk about, layer ones in the DeFi space. These are both one chain, so that's predominantly an ADA platform. 353 million. But if we look at Ethereum, it's 83 billion. It doesn't hold a candle to Ethereum. I don't think they really hold themselves out as a DeFi platform, so that's not that big of a deal. But clearly, because they've both been around for a while, that's a huge difference between those two, so it doesn't even come close to competing with Ethereum. So let's look at the actual chart itself. You heard the founder say he thought 10 to 100x. If we go back, I've got here, it happens to be a daily, but this was the last run up. And yes, it ran up 10,000%. It was around 3 cents and it ran to $3. Doesn't look like that's going to happen this time around. If we zoom in to 24 and 25, where is it sitting now? Well, like many, it went up in the November-December timeframe, huge buying volume, and then it's come down, consolidated sideways, and if we use some Fibonacci retracement here, it looks like potentially, assuming this is the bottom, that it's coming down to the 38%, maybe it touches the 50%, possibly runs on. More importantly, using the extensions, it looks like we've got some pricing at each one of these levels, and we've got the one level around $1.50, $2.12, $3.12, $4.12, $4.70. Now, he mentioned a 10x to a 100x. Let's put that into perspective. If we look at these other fully diluted, and it's currently at 35 billion, a 10x would be 350 billion. There's only 3 at the moment that are up there: XRP, Ethereum, and obviously Bitcoin. It's not competing with Bitcoin, it's only competing with these, and some of these are stable coins. But like Solana is 100 billion already. So could it 10x? Well, I guess it could, but that would be 350 billion. Could it 100x? I don't see that in this bull cycle. Personally, I really don't see a 10x this bull cycle, because that would put it at $7.80, and there's nothing that would reflect that at the moment. That was it. I hope that was helpful. That's the brief background about ADA, how they were created, who created it, who they're competing against, the number of projects they have, and whether or not you want to get in. Obviously, that's entirely up to you, but take a look, do your own research. So if you do have it and you've been holding for a while, you have a general idea of where you may want to get out and where you think it can legitimately actually climb to. Forget everyone throwing around 100x, 200x, whatever. Look at the total market cap, look at the charts, and create your own sell levels. Those are the types of things I go over. I have multiple courses in my school community. Have a great day. As always, I hope this was helpful, and we all create generational wealth together with crypto.